Hi. Dear all, welcome to our second episode of the CEEWatch series. I'm Barbara Livoreil from the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence, and today we're welcoming Biljana Macura. Biljana has conducted several systematic reviews and she's working at the Stockholm Environment Institute. But Biljana also holds a very important position at the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence, and we would like to know more about this. So hello, Biljana, and welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself and your position as editor-in-chief?
Hello, Barbara, and hello, everyone. My name is Biljana Macura, as you already said. I'm a senior research fellow at Stockholm Environment Institute, but I'm also co-editor-in-chief of Environmental Evidence Journal. I lead Environmental Evidence Journal together with Steve Cook from Carleton University, and we got this position from Andrew Pullin, who was the previous editor-in-chief. Environmental Evidence, as some of you might know, is the open access journal of the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence. And as a co-editor-in-chief, I oversee our editorial strategy, maintain our rigorous methodological standards, and work to expand the reach and impact of environmental evidence synthesis globally. And I've been co-leading Environmental Evidence Journal since 2024. And previously, I was serving as associate editor, and before that, as editorial manager in this journal. And I think this is going on now since 2017. My background is in environmental social sciences, and I have, as you also mentioned, both authored and co-authored systematic reviews and systematic maps. And I'm doing that since 2011, actually. So I've dedicated my career to advancing evidence synthesis in environmental management and development.
Thank you, Biljana. So, would you tell us what are the challenges now and in the near future for the publication of reviews of all sorts, and especially systematic reviews?
Absolutely. That's a very good question, Barbara. Well, environmental evidence synthesis, they face several challenges today. First of all, we are struggling with always sheer volume and complexity of environmental research. And normally it continues to grow exponentially, this research. And so this makes comprehensive evidence synthesis increasingly resource intense. This is compounded by the general lack of reporting standard in the primary research in our field. And this makes the synthesis pretty difficult, actually. And this is because of different data formats in this primary research studies. Often the raw data is not accessible. Also, as I said, we have a diverse reporting of outcomes as well. And so it is always difficult, actually. Second, as another challenge, there is urgent need also to accelerate the pace of reviews, the speed of how we are conducting our reviews, while also maintaining the quality at the same time. And there is a constant tension always here. Systematic reviews, they can take, 1 year up to 2 years to complete, and decision makers, they need evidence at a much faster pace. So there is a tension between thoroughness and timeliness. And so, but other types, for example, of reviews, they might be faster, but they don't deliver the rigor that we need to support decision making. So that's I would say our two biggest and well-known challenges. I must mention artificial intelligence technologies here, and they can be helpful in this tension between accelerating the pace of reviews while maintaining the quality. So they can increase the efficiency and free up researchers' time from some rather boring stuff, screening for other more complex, such as screening, for example, and they can free up time for more complex tasks, such as synthesis, for example. But sadly, I'm seeing more researchers using AI without really scrutiny in their reviews, and this makes me pretty worried, actually. We still need human oversight and a lot of data from good AI evaluation studies before we can trust AI tools to deliver rigorous and reliable outputs in screening, data extraction, and similar. We're just starting now. AI can help us manage information overload, but the interpretation of evidence and in application to policy of the findings of reviews must remain fundamentally a human task. It is for now, because it requires judgment and understanding of the context. Environmental evidence, I must mention, environmental evidence journal is currently calling for papers on AI use in evidence synthesis. And we are asking for methodological applications of AI to commentaries on ethical concerns of AI use. And so I would invite our audience, our research audience, to maybe check out our website, and as the deadline to submission is May 31st, so there is still time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Biljana. So you were mentioning that there is a high concern about the quality of reviews that are conducted, and trying to get help from AI is not always perfect. So how can we help authors achieve better reviews, in more reliable, trustworthy reviews? And as well, how can we help peer reviewers to improve how they peer review and how they support authors?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is an interesting question. So improving review quality, I believe it requires the action on multiple fronts. I think it is essential to have, first of all, structured guidance for conducting and reporting both reviews, I would say, but also the primary research, as I mentioned previously. And so guidance for conduct and reporting, especially for reviews, is essential in shaping the review process from inception to publication. So, for example, our reporting standards for systematic evidence synthesis, called ROSES, they have been proven invaluable, actually, in this regard. And they're also relatively simple combination of checklist and metadata items that authors then can fill out while they're submitting their reviews. Moreover, as you know, our guidance and standards for collaboration for environmental evidence, they are a comprehensive source of high standard requirements and good practices, and not only for systematic reviews. I think a lot of traditional reviews actually can learn a lot from systematic review applications. Second, and to improve review quality, is via, I would say, methodological training. So providing methodological training to researchers who would like to conduct systematic reviews, but also traditional reviews that are less biased, let's say. So many researchers have excellent domain knowledge, but limited really experience with systematic review methods. And very similar is with the editors and peer reviewers of journals across environmental field, sadly. So collaboration for environmental evidence provides training and builds kind of capacity for researchers in this regard. We are also working at the moment on an editorial, which will be useful support for editors of other environmental Springer journals, and to raise awareness of what systematic reviews are and what are the required standards for them. And finally, I would say we could use technological innovations that can enhance efficiency, but we have to really focus that this doesn't really compromise quality and introduce bias, inaccuracies, or incomprehensiveness. And AI-driven tools and technologies for screening, data extraction, and bias assessment, they show promise, though they must complement rather than replace expert judgment. And this I already mentioned in your previous question, Barbara. And I also think it's actually very, very important that we must recognize and celebrate and reward good review practices. So highlight exemplary reviews, acknowledge rigorous methodology that authors have been using. Like this, we can create positive incentives for quality improvement. So it's a rather of a soft measure, let's say.
Yes, thank you, Biljana. So you really mentioned the role and the all the precautions we should make when using AI and all this enthusiasm regarding AI. And it's true that we live in a world right now where AI is really pushing forward a lot of things, but we're also surrounded by fake news and disbelief in science. So how do you foresee the role of CE and environmental evidence journal in the future regarding, maybe people are feeling a little bit lost. They don't know what to trust anymore, what to believe, what not to believe. What kind of role can we play here?
Sorry, my dog was just barking.
That's okay.
So, well, yeah, it's yes, it's a challenging information landscape as you just described, and I think our work of collaboration for environmental evidence, and including environmental evidence journal, has never been more important. So first, I think we serve as a trusted arbiters of quality for systematic reviews and evidence they produce. And our commitment to methodological rigor, transparency, and impartiality in research is really, really essential, I would say. I would like to believe that our rigorous standards for evidence synthesis provide a shield against biases, including confirmation bias or cherry picking and similar. Second, I believe we have to be a little bit better at effective translation of complex evidence. What do I mean by that? Well, synthesizing evidence in a rigorous manner is only valuable if it really reaches decision makers in accessible forms. This means that stakeholder engagement throughout the review process has never been more important. And also, we need to be better at perfecting science communication strategies. At the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence, and when you publish a review in Environmental Evidence Journal, you're also required to, or perhaps it's rather a recommendation at this point, to provide short non-technical summaries for each review. And I think this is one step towards this translation of science into policy to reach better policy and practice impact. Finally, I think we should also position ourselves as educators as well. So helping build public understanding of what constitutes evidence, what constitutes good evidence, and how to evaluate claims that you hear, nowadays everywhere very critically. So I think that's where we can, I would say, contribute. So we can contribute to scientific literacy more broadly, in other words. And I also believe that our work of Environmental Evidence Journal, Collaboration for Environmental Evidence, also could be a bit better in evidence inclusivity as well, which is also very, very important. So we should actively attempt to incorporate diverse knowledge sources into our synthesis, including indigenous and local knowledge. And like this, we can also build trust across communities while enriching our evidence base. We do need to build better methods for this integration, but there are some attempts out there.
Many thanks for this, Biljana. I'm sure we can talk and talk again about the quality of science, quality of reviews, how to help people be critical about what they read. There would be ample opportunities for more recording, and we will have opportunities for that with you and with other members of the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence. So, dear listeners and watchers of CEEWatch, we hope that you've appreciated this moment, and please contact us if you need any more information or if you would like to join the teams of the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day, and we're looking forward to exchange with you all again for the next episode of CEEWatch. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Mike. Bye, Biljana.